where that echo was, but it's not going to matter. Kirk on the flank finds it down onto one. Riot's already down, so it's a technical 1 versus 2. And Bry just swung to his death. Twizzler on the top floor will look to retrieve their teammate, but a Kirk can find the timing and clutch it out. An ace for Kirk.
But Spider still gets a kill, and an Xer not ready for him in the corner, but oh my goodness, he gets the kill anyways!
He gets the kill, Teddy left alive. He does it yet again for Mirage!
He's low on health, especially when the Vulcan canisters are in play, but now Ambi low as well, but he takes the kill anyways! He's still left, but with 15 seconds and not too much intel as to where they are, it's not looking great for him, but he's just got the isolated frag on aim key, and the last one's left in Freezer. This could be a very easy pick to find if he just looks in the right corners with the shotgun as well. He'll be lethal in the close range. A 1-on-2 for the Gridlock.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sino and I'm here with my main Botanic. Who else to give you and present this big grand final? I'm so excited to be here. How are you, my man?
Fantastic day for good old Siege, and we kind of have two very different play styles coming up against each other today. It's going to be Turtle Tactics versus Shoob Academy, and I guess starting out with Turtle Tactics here today, it's kind of the more methodical team, the more slower approach team. Obviously, you have a bunch of veterans here in the server. I mean, you got Nyx and you got Mint in the coaching booth. I mean, both of these very smart and intelligent players. I mean, in terms of the rest of the roster here, I mean, you got TrevMac as well. He's had pretty deep forays on rosters like SSBA Cat, Spider, Zonky, Dami. I mean, overall, pretty star-studded roster here in the grand final. Like I mentioned before, I mean, pretty low, methodical team. They came off to a pretty rough start when this roster first formed, but they're finding their footing finally, as they're one of the teams that believe in sticking together as a unit, believe in working through these hardships together, and now in the grand final, they can potentially claim that first place prize and can prove that all the strife is worth it in the end. But moving on to Shoob ACAD, it's a pretty interesting roster of young guns, you know?
Yeah, I've been seeing a little bit more gameplay. Last week we were watching Shoob's Academy, Scary, Soapy, Piff, Ept, and Lecky. These 5 gunners managed to completely push through Outlast Black, and it was something I adored, honestly. They ended Outlast Black 6-0 map run, and they did it pretty easily. It was methodical, it was very easy for them, and they took their sweet time. And I think, as you mentioned before, both of these teams heading it on up right here, right now, are going to have to use their best coaching methods, their best play styles to their advantage, or we're going to see a team go home if they can't capitalize as early. Both of these teams, very elite, and only one of them can win and take their spot to the TPL XGS finale. Taking a look here at our maps, we see Chalet, Club, Sky, and Cafe taking the ban, surprisingly, considering these are the main maps for these two teams. Layer being our first map, and Constantly taking the second, meaning we're going to be seeing a lot of methodical gameplay. Bank and Nighthaven taking our last 2 bans, taking out one of the most loved maps in the scene, taking us to Border if we need all 3 maps.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, for this first pick, a layer here, you know, Turtle Tactics, overall, a pretty breezy playoff run for them. I don't think they had a single match in playoffs that went past, let's see real quick, SN1 and 2. Yeah, pretty much nothing really that went awry for them. Maybe they did drop a map to CFA Friday, but so far they haven't even played layer so far in playoffs. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what Coach Mint and of course Nyx, what those 2 minds could put together over on layer. Any expectations you have, Sino?
I mean, I think ideally for both teams here, both teams need to shut it out in the first 2 maps, and that's what they want. I mean, as the casters, I feel like we both wouldn't mind going to that map 3 scene, but for both teams, it's ideal for them to confirm and lock in their first 2 maps. Consulate being that second map is a little bit of a curveball, considering both teams really don't have all that much experience in this league specifically. We've only seen that map being played once, and it's coming from the side of Turtle Tactics, where they just barely won it. So there's a lot expected here. But when we move on to layer, we've seen Shoob's Academy play it absolutely amazing. Last week and the week before that, they know what they were doing. They found the easy gaps in the defender sides, and they attacked and defended it a little odd, in my opinion here. They always switch it up, they're always adapting constantly, and that's what makes them such a dangerous team. So what we can expect here is Shoobs Academy to keep throwing these curveballs, and we need to see how Turtle Tactics will adapt.
I mean, going into the operator bans here, I'm very much expecting a Deimos ban out of Shoobs Academy. Oh, Monty, actually. Well, all right then. Nice to be proven wrong. But overall, Monty ban, very strong, especially when it comes to Turtle Tactics starting over on the attacking side. Those shields being able to take up space by critical positions like that Skybridge area just makes a lot of sense for Shoobs wanting to stop the roll as much as possible. Turtle Tactics now getting rid of the Maverick as well. And on the defensive for their second ban will be a zombie out of the fray. Now, Shoobs Academy, last ban left. We start the map. They have been banning a lot of Valk all throughout the playoffs, but on Lair against Outlast Black, they also did ban Clash, but it does seem like they will be going for their ever consistent pick of Valk. Definitely useful on a map like Lair. Lots of wooden floors, and overall just a very big map. I might call it too big for the defenders. So getting a crucial operator like Valk for that information collecting out of the way can be very much useful for Shoobs Academy.
Yeah, Valk getting taken off the board here, absolutely essential for that denial on the verticality. Deimos being left on the board, as you can see, instantly picked here by Zonky, paired up by Monty's little brother Blitz. Now they have easy map control. If they can play it together, they get easy floor banks. They have easy map control all in their hands. It's all about taking this step by step, and this is a site where you can play from below very easily. You do have the mirror. You can catch her sitting close. You can catch her sitting idle behind one of her black mirrors. A very good opportunity to capitalize on and deal a good amount of damage here. Turtle Tactics has attack first, but they can manage to capitalize and steal a couple of rounds here, so the split isn't too defender-sided. I think they'll have a great time after that halftime switch. Right now, though, taking a look at their roster, it's looking like they just want to have chaos on this site. They bring that sense. Ever since the most recent update, we've been seeing a little bit more of a presence from him, being able to turn his lasers on and off. He's essential for when you're trying to get in the site and try to get that plant down. So I think this is going to be a quite interesting site push when it comes to seeing how they're going to try to get the bomb down.
Lots of utility to slowly chip away and peel at the massive 50 utility Shoobs Academy is bringing over on the defensive side. Not only do they need to worry about Fenrir's when they try and push these choke points, most likely play window going to be one of those crucial areas of the map that's preventing against the blitz. Also, you have air windows to get through. You have Warden to potentially deal with if you throw down those smoke bolts, if you throw down those smoke grenades from the blitz. You also have the depth that can limit choke points with those smoke baids of its own. So, Turtle Tactics, as per usual, going to be wanting to play this very slowly and inch by inch take piece of map control. As now, Dami is playing out my operational room, seeing that it's mostly clear. But when does he park the drone? When does he decide to finally take the space?
Look here at their drone economy. Only one shot off the board here. They have so much intel. They have so much time to get things right. This is a team that'll slow down and take their time. Very evident. They're taking their time to relax, drone out, and they are playing this game very, very much by the book. They're getting set up. They're having their teammates drone each other in, and just look at the amount of space they're giving themselves. Only a minute and 30 seconds into the round, and they've taken operational with not a single tick of damage done to them. They've even taken the hallway. Nobody camping out here in the bathroom allows very easy access into the long hall that will eventually lead into sight here. Defenders are aware of this, and they have the mirror to support any rushes, but this blitz is definitely going to be that chaotic operator that's going to allow very, very instant plays where they're going to have to either rely on their teammates to swing and kill him, or somebody's just going to have to try to get chaotic here and take the balls themselves to finish him off.
Mac on the blitz, definitely a huge threat here. Thankfully, Lucky is the Warden, accompanied with Pit. I mean, 2v1 against a blitz makes all the difference, so they're definitely going to be relying on Spider to cause a lot of chaos here. Over by the display window side, bees fly out, but so far no movement. It still just is Lecky, just looking through that smoke, waiting, ready for the comm over to Piff. Just playing around the edge of that server side. Second smoke gonna be flying out from Treadmax, shot fired towards shield. No action just yet. We're approaching 30 seconds here. And Plant, in the meantime, will be going down. Lecky gonna be tantalized in that gunfight over towards display window. And huge damage by Spider. Soapy down as well. Fire rains everywhere. 20 seconds left. However, the case is loose, now being planted by Dami. Adept and Scary, the only two people left standing, try and need to find anything right now. However, only Adept in a 1 versus 4 situation. Sure, Domi's limping, but he still has everybody else around him. Allowed to free roam around Mezzanine, essentially, but no one's home. Turtle Tactics playing this so conservatively, as Adept does manage to find Zonky, but his position well known. He has still 3 other people to chew through. It's not going to happen. A Spider closes out the first round of play.
Turtle Tactics really coming here, knocking on the door of SpaceShoobs, and not a single response. They answered the door with a frown on their face. They got into sight. There was 35 seconds left. All 10 bodies were still up. Beautiful from the blitz. If they had a Jaeger or a Wamai, those smokes could have been diverted or completely rejected, but we just didn't see that happen. The denial, the blind side of that mirror just allowed them to waltz in, take the gunfights, and honestly, very well-deserved round here for Turtle Tactics. They got their utility use, they got everything down and done by the book, and it was a very well-deserved round here. Shoobs Academy now moving on to the basement in hopes to find a different site with a different outcome.
I do like Adept upping the switch towards the Vigil. We did see there in that first round that, especially by that operation side, it was strangely empty. You know, no one really even playing by the reinforcement, maybe shoot a drone or two, fall back. It was just completely empty. It was very passive from the side of Shoobs Academy, and now Adept switching over to that Vigil. Makes me think they want to, at the very least, have a little bit more aggression, especially if, well, Zonky and Turtle Tactics period was showing that they were willing to play that Deimos. Hopefully, Shoobs Academy able to find a better footing here as we do get into the second round of play.
Also being brought alongside with Tamira here. I casted Shoobs Academy previously, specifically on this map, and it's nice to see they are sticking to their original tactics here. They bring the mirror, they bring the castle, and they pair it up for a little bit of a heaven roam. But right now, what we've seen in previous games is they struggle to hold down this site when it comes to receiving pushes from warehouse side. And it looks like that's exactly what Turtle Tactics is going to go for here. They suffer the first loss, we are going to see a very, very big problem for Shoobs Academy, because when they get overran by their utility here, we just see problems on problems occur because they just can't use their teamwork to their advantage because there's just so much utility being tossed at their faces, they just can't adapt in time.
Speaking of adaptation, Spider going to be adapting to space he's given, however. Does trigger that Fenrir mine, so his position known, but Trevmark, holy! Oh, does get a shield flung back, however, still standing. Now, equal 4v4 situation, make that a man advantage. Now back to even once again. It is Scary, standing face to face to a blitz, however, does manage to find one before he gets taken out. Plant will be going down, however, still a 2v2 situation. C4 still available for Lecky. Red Mac. Much health to his name, a well-placed C4 could take him out. However, you do have to navigate these smokes and air jabs. It seems they do trigger too. Look so far, launching past grenades, but they have no idea where anybody on Turtle Tactics is. Need to play this together. Does have an impact to spare. Does manage to down Trevmac. Adept. Now, only Nick standing. However, great position. Downs Lucky. 18 seconds left on the clock. And my God, Nick's with an amazing flick to claim the second round for the Turtles.
I mean, you just close your eyes here for 1 second. You just blink, the round's over. What the hell just happened? The first round, we see everything boil down to the last couple of seconds in the round. We were just a minute and 30 seconds in, and somehow we found Trevmac just sitting in the middle of sight here alongside the smoke. It just went from calm, composed, collected to Call of Duty in just a matter of one round. Nick's really stepping up to the occasion here. 0 kills before that round had started, and ending it here with 5. I'm honestly speechless. They were just ran down here, and almost a nice adaptation here by Shoobs, but there was just no response. Too many roamers outside of sight, and too much chaos ensued in such a short amount of time definitely is going to lead to that one reaction, which is just going to be falling short and losing control of that site.
Yeah, you may have banned Monty from the Turtle Tactics, but still, they seem very flexible on the rest of the catalog of shield operators available. Not afraid to take it fast, not afraid to hit any gaps they see. In the adaptations from Shoobs Academy, you see more utility not only for the information in terms of bringing that Oryx and his proxy alarms, in terms of bringing Legion and still running over on that Fenrir, but you also see that stopping power, form of that Goyo that can definitely stop when they get cluttered up in those rushes, like moments we saw just now. But overall, Turtle Tactics looking really good for it right now, Sino.
I mean, just looking at how they really utilize that one shield operator, there's just no response coming in here from Shoobs Academy. The Blackbeard's on the board.
That was an ace from Nyx. That was an ace from Nyx.
That's what I'm
last round.
saying. It's an ace.
Unk still got it.
Kills. They just completely capitalized, running down anybody who walks into the man's crosshairs, especially on Gridlock, too. It's not an easy gun to use. You need to be experienced with it, and that's exactly what he was. Shield ops, though. Big problem here for Shoobs Academy. What happens when they bring the Blackbeard, somebody with a fully automatic gun? It's not going to be very pretty is what I can tell you. And as they keep creeping in through a warehouse, where is the denial and where is the utility to be able to capitalize?
Lots of utility flying out. There's an impact grenade landing. Brad Mac. Tagging him, but never falling left and right as somehow Shoob Academy walking away with an advantage. My screen was all white, but I can assure you there's red all over that big garage part of the map. Zonky left to recover over by the yellow steps. Does he expect Lucky? He's going to be on the run now, so no gunfight by those yellow stairs. Nami, in the meantime, going to be finally working on this vertical. Still 2 boogie drones in the pocket. First phone call. Zonky flying out as well.
Last phone call in the pocket here, and I don't know if they have the hatch open. I don't think there's any can openers here on the board, so not easy control, but an easy gunfight here. SMG-12 winner will be Zonky here, and now it'll be all even in the factor of Shoobs in Turtle Tactics. A little bit of a chaotic start to the round. It looks like things have eased up. Both teams taking a step back, reevaluating what they need to do. One of them establishing the verticality, and the other sitting stationary, waiting for the attackers to come to them. Just a little bit under a minute left on the clock. And it's all about drawing in these attackers' time. You're down 2 rounds and you need to continue to stall. Verticality is established, but no one's playing it. You have to be paranoid though. So, Turtle Tactics is establishing everything they need to do to be able to get into sight and go for their gunfights here. But Piff has something to say about that. He'll get a triple. One more to confirm his quad kill. 30 seconds left. Not a single ounce of aggression is needed. And I'm pretty sure Zonky's unaware there's a man sitting prone here. One flash being used and prioritized. That's exactly what he'll do, but he gets hit by the F-Knot, and the teamwork between Piff and the Oryx on the ground will confirm the first round here for Shoobs.
While those first few gunfights were extremely quick, the thing about that is that Turtle Tactics didn't really manage to chew through any of the utility. So all those Goyos, all those Legions, all those Fenrir mines still up. It only took some great positioning from Shoob Academy to finally claim their first round. Still at a disadvantage, Turtle Tactics still leading. However, if they keep playing like that, we could see an equal score here anytime soon, Sino.
I mean, they're playing it interesting here for both teams. I don't know. I've never seen Shoobs play like this. We see some unhinged aggression here, but maybe just the finals pressure is something that they're taking into account here. Turtle Tactics also, the conservative gunplay from the first round, their all-out Call of Duty rounds the second. It's just a little concerning here. It's unreadable is what I'm trying to get to. And right now, it's working out for them because they still remain in the lead. Shoobs Academy barely inched by that last round here. They really need to continue to change up the way they play or change up the aggression, because this Blackbeard being integrated now into this new roster is going to be a little bit more chaotic for them to have to deal with. Blitz is that stationary operator with smoke, but what are you going to do when you have Capitao smokes flying at you alongside with Blackbeard's frag grenades?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen before Shoobs Academy not afraid to look a Blitz dead in the face if they're well equipped with a impact grenade, but Blackbeard, a completely different beast, having explosives of his own in the form of those frag grenades. Definitely going to find one way or another to force people to move over the side of Shoob Academy.
So much left to be done here. They're taking their sweet time. All that matters. Drones coming up here from the backside, maybe allowing Skybridge to be the next point of attack. Operational doesn't seem to be what they are going to be going for this time around. They're slowing it down. They're getting their drones in. And for Shoobs Academy, we're not going to be seeing that Vigil. Usually for this site, we see either Piff or Adept playing Vigil below, but that's just not something we've been seeing, and they might pay the price for that. Buck is on the board, and he is going to be painful. He's going to be painful if you allow yourself to be stationary below these mirrors. And sadly, for Shoobs Academy, all of these mirrors are soft from below.
Yeah, at the very least, Shoobs Academy not really depending on any breach-stopping utility, apart from the occasional jammer. But with how reliant Turtle Tactics is on their drones to spot these gaps, I'd assume the jammers are more well-positioned to stop the information game rather than any breaches. Speaking of breaches, hard breach from the former Dami, already well up at Skybridge. Looking to take a fight any second, just playing the patience game. Both nades from Treadmac roll out, so does a drone. I think it does manage to spot a det. So far, everything at a standstill right now in the round, Sino.
Yeah, right now the most action we've seen is that shock coming in here from Blackbeard, leaving him immobile for a couple of seconds. Banch is going to double down on that, but he'll get rid of it. Look at the amount of impacts here from Shoobs. They only have 2, which means they are going to have to really be conservative here with the utility they are going to be using. You just need to move this Blackbeard up the corner so you don't get baited into a kill. And the quick 180 here from Sophie opens up the killing leaderboard, and first blood is in the favor of Shoobs Academy, and second pick goes in the favor of Zonky, meaning there's no more denial for Smoke. His toxic babes are now done and dusted. 2 C4s are left on the clock, 30 seconds left, meaning when you plant, you really got to be careful here. Piff playing below, meaning it is going to be even more crucial when you're trying to get that late plant down. 20 seconds boiling down. Spider really just trying to walk in. Double kill here in his favor. They have all just fallen apart. A TK, he's hungry for kills. He'll just shoot his own teammate in the back. Piff being forced to a 1v4 situation. 1v3 if you count that man downed out. The plant is going to go down. No way Piff has something to say about that. And what has happened here by Shoobs Academy? They just had it in a blink of an eye. They lost 4 bodies. It just looks like there is no way he can recover this. No matter how many gunfights you take, you have the Black Mirrors, you have drones, you have every piece of utility against you. And to top it all off, Dami is back up and back in the game to be here to take you out. Mira still being something you have to deal with, and Spider will use it to his advantage. 2 quick shots, 1 to the dome. Will close it out here for Turtle Tactics, and they will close out their 2-round differential yet again.
I mean, what was looking to be a great starting advantage for Shoobs Academy, I mean, Turtle Tactics, contrary to their name, have just been incredibly fast all game long, Sino.
Yeah, man, I have no idea what is going on here. They kind of threw us a curveball. They started off the first round with the slowest droning out ever. And then they let it happen. The second round, they just started shooting each other in the face. Yes, all normal. And then from here on out, it's just been on and off, being passive and being very aggressive. So they're being that unreadable team, which it's usually Shoobs Academy's job to be able to be unpredictable and not knowing what they want to do. Right now, Turtle Tactics taking that role for themselves, and it's working out. They're taking attacking rounds on layer. They couldn't ask for anything better, and they are executing it just to a T. This timeout needs to be prioritized correctly, or we are going to be seeing a very, very one-sided halftime here.
Yeah, absolutely. Shoobs Academy, despite with a great start over on the round previous, I mean, they just left a huge gap via that R6 room to storage room rotate, and well, Turtle Tactics just took full advantage of it, immediately flooding into the bomb site, leaving Shoobs, especially Piff, dazed and confused, as by the time he returned to the bomb site, he was alone.
Yeah, like, I don't understand, and it happened here with the basement as well. You have the Heaven Mirrors, you have people playing upstairs. 2 bodies are your roamers. That should leave 3 in sight. 3 bodies should be enough to hold the attackers at bay, and that's just not what we were seeing. 4 bodies dropping in 25 to 30 seconds is just unacceptable. You're going to take that mid floor on now, which is going to be the first time for them. They don't have the Azami, so that 1 extra layer of defense is going to be taken away from them. No castle, going to make it even more difficult, but they have the verticality, they have the wall deny. Hopefully it will look a little bit more uniform in terms of playing as a team than it did these last couple of rounds, because out of the 4 they've only taken home 1. You really need to capitalize on your layer defenses, because imagine if this is how hard your defensive rounds are, imagine what it will look like on attack.
Yeah, I mean, Shoobs Academy's strats almost seeming like a prison of their own creation, consistently getting abused on multiple gaps via how good Turtle Tactics is at their droning. Shoobs Academy not out of this half just yet, still able to equalize, but comeback needs to start now.
They're really just taking their time here. Turtle Tactics, drone, get the walls open, and then they look for the picks here. And Shoobs Academy, they kind of just play into it no matter what happens. They're always the ones engaging the gunfights here. Turtle Tactics are the ones that wait for the gunfights to come to them, and maybe that's the approach that needs to start taking here, because their utility is getting starved out quite early in the round, as you can tell. 1 minute 55 left in the round, and 1C4 has been taken off the board, but I'm pretty sure it's actually managed to deny these Selma charges before it can get the wall fully open. But 2 kills makes the Selma charge denials completely and utterly useless as Lecky and Adept meet their maker. 2 first picks here for Turtle Tactics. A quick response from Scary. Makes it a 3v4, still leaving them down a body. Make that 2 as Domi will find Piff, and what is going on here? You still have to deal with the Blackbeard left, and there is not a single man left in sight. What verticality is going to matter if you're still dealing with that Blackbeard upstairs and all of the attackers are starting to close on in to your location? Yes, they don't have access to the site, but guess what? They're still going to try to get that plant down regardless. Quick one tap. He still manages to deny it, actually. And well done from Scary. He's slowed down the round now. He's made it a little bit more realistic to be able to reel it back, win this round, and call it a day. But this pressure from the Blackbeard is still going to be inevitable. He's playing very passionate. He's playing very patient. He has the drones, and he's waiting to capitalize on a very easy swing. Now, if he's paying attention, and you hopped on a drone in the middle of the round, not hearing the audio, and you'll pay the price. Scary really being that critical operator here, managing to find 2 kills now, 1 denial and 1 on their shield op. He's reestablished this round here for Shoobs Academy. He's not letting Turtle Tactics run all over him anymore. And now they need to choose for either going to the site and getting picked apart by the verticality, or waiting until this end of the round and trying to isolate your gunfights.
At the time, very much in favor of Shoobs Academy. However, the man advantage is not. Only Soapy left standing. Whereby Storage just needs to be able to isolate his gunfights, but Spider will be putting an end to the mischief caused by Shoobs Academy. We're looking really good there. Very passionate, like you mentioned before, Sino, but ultimately, 2v2 just played incorrectly. Turtle Tactics just able to isolate the last 2 Shoobs defenders. We'll be walking away with the 4th round.
What's going on here? They are really starting to struggle to adapt now. Scary managed to reel it back in from a 2-man deficit, and they instantly fall short again. They're just allowing Turtle Tactics to make it, instead of a 2v2, to 2v1v1. They're allowing themselves to be isolated and picked apart, and that is just something you don't want happening. It's a team game. You need to play together, and that's just something we are not seeing from Shoobs Academy. Their timeout seems to have had no effect on the rapid momentum coming in here from Turtle Tactics, and this is going to be a price they're going to continue to pay, because I've said this before and I'll continue to say it again. A 4-2 is the best ideal situation here for the halftime, and it's very manageable because it's just 2 rounds. But 5-1 is a completely different story. It's demotivating to look at, it's hard to come back from, and it's actually nearly impossible to dismantle the momentum that the other team has, especially when they're moving on to defense.
Yeah, I mean, Shoobs Academy seemed to have the moments of brilliance of teamwork when it doesn't really matter. I mean, they've always been playing catch-up. Round after round, they make us believe in 1vx, 2vx scenarios. They really just need more sustainable ways to play, and an early man advantage from Scary might be the start of that, Sino.
First blood in the favor, finally, of Shoobs Academy. I feel great. I feel refreshed the fact that I can say that now. Scary really wanting to challenge that narrative and try to make it a 4v4 real quick, but deciding to completely leave it alone when he gets hit once by that very powerful DMR. Quick reset here by both teams allows the drones to start to rein in, and Shoobs Academy now have to take a step back and reevaluate what their plan is. Vigil seems to have seeked refuge right back into sight. They've done what is necessary. They spawn peeked and got rid of the roam clear, and now they can do whatever the hell they want. They have that man advantage up, which means they can pile a single person onto the gunfights. Right now, the main idea for them should be not allowing themselves to get picked off 1 by 1 and not allowing their utility to get starved, as we are literally seeing right now.
Finally, that hatch by Army be getting opened. Just Nyx has been shooting incredibly so far this game, being hyper vigilant. Any sort of flanks of any sort of roam game so far, but according to the X-ray, all clear on the western front so far. 28 on the clock now. Tommy soon be getting to all this vertical. Still left to be ripped up apart. Shoobs Academy, they got their pick. Scary. Left limping, but still alive. Now, play incredibly conservative in the bomb site, while Turtle Tactics does their thing up top.
They're just, again, taking their time. I don't know how many times I've said it now, but it's honestly the only thing they're doing. They're so patient. They lost a body, and they are completely disregarded and unfazed by it. They're taking their sweet time to make a play, but now, as we approach the under 1 minute mark, they have lots to do in such a short amount of time. They have the breaches open, but only slightly, meaning they're going to have to adapt here and kind of just walk in, go for the gunfights here. F not just about to shoot it, but Spider gets shot in the head by Scary, but the plant's going down regardless. Piff still finding a kill, Sophie finding a kill, but he still managed to put the case down, and a flawless round here ended out by Piff himself. Will send us to the half with 4-2, and a little bit of teabagging and toxic shooting bodies. I don't really understand. You've been picked apart constantly, but the smallest victories matter. And right now, Shoobs Academy can hold their heads up high as they walk away from the half to finally end it off on somewhat of a good note, making this comeback a little bit more achievable.
And now we flip over to the attacking side, and this still is Turtle Tactics' pick. So if their attacking strategies were incredible, one can only imagine what they have in store for us in the defense. In the meantime, Shoob may be looking to take this a little bit quickly. They do opt to go with Blackbeard. They do opt to go Deimos as well, which they have commonly banned. So, I'll be very curious to see what we get to see out of Shoob Academy here. But in the meantime, though, Turtle Tactics wanting to play this game very stall-like. They have the smoke, they have the Goyo, they have the Kubarao. It's going to take a lot of time, effort, and utility for Shoob Academy to break through the defense.
Couldn't have worded it better. Turtle Tactics, they've been playing 4 rounds on attack now. They've been extremely coordinated on a map that is very, very hard to play as a uniform. Imagine what they're going to do here on defense. Already, they're extending out into this long hallway. They're reinforcing off that bathroom area. They want this 90 hall to be theirs without the use of that mirror on the storage window. Something that is very realistic, because if they get that long angle opened up from outside, this mirror becomes very hard to play. Turtle Tactics taking a step back and reevaluating without the need of this mirror. They've brought the utility, they brought the wall denial, and they brought the man who will deny the wall even longer, being to borrow with the Zoto canisters. They are really trying to play tight here. As long as they keep these walls closed, they're going to force Shoobs Academy to have to pop in through doors where they can just pick them off one by one.
Does seem though Scary a little bit interested on making his way towards that operational side. Maybe the first point of contact for the round. Actually not, as they seem to be just rotating straight toward that sky bridge. Drone right on the feet of Scary. Gonna be finding a point of contact here real soon, as it is Nyx in a bit of a scary situation. Forced to pop that second Goyo right off the bat. Now we'll be sealing that storage wall. 2 minutes left on the clock, 2 Goyos down, a lot of space already secured for Shoob Academy. No picks fly any which way, but still Shoob's Academy in a really good position, especially as Lecky on that Twitch drone doing even more work.
I mean, this really just makes me question if Blackbeard was the better ban instead of Monty here. He's been crucial, especially with the fact that he has that quick draw to get his gun out. Monty's a little bit more of a stationary operator, and it's kind of starting to be very difficult for both teams to have to deal with this This wall going to get opened up here regardless, but not if Tomorrow has something to say about that. Zoto canisters now getting utilized. Amos is below, has the idea of starting to get aggressive through the ground. That's exactly what he's going to do. 1 death mark to use, 2 left in the pocket. But as of right now, the utility getting dissected, the hives are getting launched into sight, and the live pinks are starting to just roll on in. 1 more beehive left here for Grim. If you need to use it wisely, you know there's a man behind this shelf, and I feel like he does. But the frag grenade just really doesn't get lucky. No connection here at all. And as we get below the 1 minute mark, they are all stationary. They are all just waiting here. The only one who's been on live pings here is just Dami. Everybody else is in a good concealed position to be able to execute. And right now, easy 1-tap coming in here from Sophie will get first blood and take care of Trevmac. Sophie trying to get lucky again, but decides to get aggressive with the case and will lose it mid-sight. Zombie for 2 with the DMR. Nyx getting the kill for his team. Dami, it's just kills raining in from everywhere here for Turtle Tactics. Adept getting 1, but was it enough in that short amount of time? 20 seconds left, we blink our eyes, and there is nobody left alive here for Shoobs Academy, and they just leave Lecky outside the breach here, left in a position where he has to shell 3 areas and 3 angles, and they are not trying to get aggressive here, except for Zonk. Triple kill next to his name, and he even gets as ballsy enough to use his pistol. Quick headshot ends out the round, and what's new, Scooby-Doo? Turtle Tactics walk away with the next round.
Yeah, beautifully played there in terms of recovering through the rush from Turtle Tactics. I mean, I do believe it was Soapy who just ran straight through the smokes, was trying to assist Piff over by the display side, but just completely ignoring Zonky, aka the guy they were trying to kill in the bomb site for the past 30 seconds. And that doesn't go well for him, because he managed to get Soapy, and he does manage to get the Blackbeard as well, and finish it off the round with a triple kill. So, Shoobs Academy, a little bit of a miscalculation on that one. Piff should be left alone to fight his own battles, while they should have been able to collapse in bomb site.
Yeah, a little bit questionable here coming in here from Shoobs Academy. I mean, yes, assisting your teammate is very helpful, but if you know there's a high probability he is going to die, are you really going to go chow it with a pistol? This is my main idea. Ran through sight, just Leroy Jenkins through the sight. Hope to God he would make it on the other side unscathed, and he just got torn apart. I'm pretty sure at one point there were 4 operators shooting at him before the quick refrag came in from Dami here. So, quick responses coming in from Turtle Tactics, and they're denying absolutely beautifully, and I think a 7-2 is something that is very possible to see this game. They're really capitalizing, they're really getting the work done, and they are doing everything by the book. Shoobs Academy falling short at every turn is something that needs to be spoken about. Timeout doesn't really help them out here, and it's just a matter of changing up the playstyle to be able to call rounds theirs or try to at least initiate a comeback before this round differential gets out of hand.
Absolutely well said there, my friend. Does seem as Piff is tomorrow here. Just trying to see if you can find any advantageous angle by this electrical side, making a lot of noise in the process. Shoobs Academy already dominant space, or by that garage side, but very much intentional, as every doorway blocked off by a brand new castle barricade. Now they're being over scary. Finally using that Blackbeard ability. You don't really see that one used too often, mostly just for the gun, the grenade. But very handy in this scenario specifically. Now, finally, an open avenue to that lab side. Potentially Thompson as well. It will be Shoobs Academy slowly peeling away at all the utility Turtle Tactics has brought. You can see with the X-ray, still a few defenders left upstairs. How are they going to collaborate in the round?
I mean, we're seeing the same exact approach here from Shoobs Academy at Turtle Tactics. Ignore the roamers flood into sight here. But the only major mistake is they don't have that blitz. That quick flash is just not going to come into effect. And they've completely disregarded the fact that there is verticality established on their heads. Ella opening up by finding Lecky and with a quick response to take care of the Ella. Quick refrag, beautiful teamwork. But right now, you still have so much more to deal with. Who's watching your showers? Oh, I told you, you have to be aware of the verticality. 2 quick kills here for Turtle Tactics. Find the third. Nyx gets 2 very easy kills, almost finding the third. It's almost like they're just ignoring the fact that there's a hole in the ceiling, leaving Soapy now by himself in stock. 3 defenders circling, and he can't plant anywhere that is safe. There's 1 man that is close to him, and he will be coming in through the area of missing. Now closing in through showers and lockers, and there's still verticality established. How have they not droned it out is the main idea here. You guys had so much time in your prep, and you still managed to fall short. Nyx, very well-deserved triple kill here, gives him the round to send his team on to match point. And it's a moment where you just have to say, what the hell is Shoobs thinking?
Yeah, I mean, some very familiar scenes there. Nyx going huge to close out the round. Soapy just running through everything for better or for worse. And Shoobs Academy on the back foot. Turtle Tactics on 6. I'm pretty confident they should be able to close out this map right here and now.
Couldn't have said it better. I said the 7-2 thing. Hopefully the caster's curse doesn't come into effect on this round, but Shoobs Academy really just being left out to dry here. 4 rounds is now the advantage that they have let gain upon them, and this is one of the harder sites to attack. When it's set up properly, when you have the castle, which we are seeing now, they have the wall denial, they have the Tabaru, and they have everything that's needed. They have utility to deny, and they have every motives needed to be able to close it out right here, right now. Everything points towards a Turtle Tactics win here. I'm just hoping I improved wrong, because 7-2 is no way to begin a grand final. Hopefully, Shoobs Academy find a response, because I can only imagine what the stat pad looks like here, because the amount of plants that have went down is very minimal compared to the amount of opening picks we've seen here. And I think that is something that needs to be highlighted here for Shoobs.
Yeah, Shoobs basically on the edge of destruction here. One more round to do it. Bunk's brief in defense. Intentions are to take up top first as Soapy is on that ramp. How efficient will they be at it? How efficiently can they support Lecky? I mean, how efficiently can Lecky even support himself? 1-6 stat line, not looking too hot.
Finally, though, I mean, this would have been very bad if we had seen Shoobs Academy pick this map and get smoked on it 7-2. Again, nothing's definitive, but at least this is Turtle Tactics map. So we're going to see Consulate in Shoobs' favor. Hopefully that will look a little bit different. But focusing a little bit more on this real time, we'll have Lecky using finally his ability to be able to walk in here. Adept really getting aggressive, but deciding to ease off before meeting his maker. That shotgun close range would have definitely found his face. But Castle changes his mind and pulls off. But what's new, Scooby-Doo? His first blood will go in the favor of Turtle Tactics. Scary being downed, and I don't think Nyx knows this yet. He'll still take the passive approach. 11-5 next to his name, and he could care less. And somehow they're on match point, having a man on their team going 0-6. I didn't even notice that until now. Right now, he's still playing the wall deny though, so does it really matter? Soapy now going to be directly on the front lines, trying to get something done for his team here. But we need to see some sort of collaboration, as there are major Gutics going on here to Lecky as he finally decides to take it out. But still, we are 1 minute and 30 into the round, and finally Soapy will find the first pick here. So much inching around this upstairs area, and not a single person took the initiative. But finally, there you go. But an instant refrag, make that 2 and 3. Trevor finding 2 kills, make it a third, as he will get shut out by Piff. That'll be a double for him, but is it too late? You made that play way too late. Trevmark 0-6 before this round had started, and a massive play completely dissects the upstairs push. Are you kidding me? Piff finally finds the easy 2 kills, but does it really matter? They're all common sight now. The case is loose. Verticality isn't even established here. You honestly have to put your hands in your head and say, what is going on? Triple kill here for Piff might prolong the end of his team on map 1, but knowing Dami, he takes that passive approach here. He knows the kid is loose and there's only 30 seconds left. So it's all about the dying seconds on the clock and how Piff will choose to use it.
Yeah, very confusing round overall for Shoobs Academy, but a clutch scenario is a clutch scenario. Technically, Piff can extend play here. He just needs to hunt Dami, who's way closer than he thinks he is. And somehow, miracle worker Piff managed to clutch out a 1v4 scenario and takes us a round longer over on Lair. Now, what do we see? Absolute buffoonery. Not only was Scary allowed to bleed out, almost die, mind you, but Case was loose for over a minute. But somehow, someway, Shoobs Academy prevail via some incredibly early gaps taken by Soapy. But main credit absolutely goes to Piff. I mean, the kills just lined up for him. Turtle Tactics just not playing together in that 1v2 scenario.
I'm just not sure if we're being serious here. Blunder upon blunder for both teams actually sends us 6-3. Not something I thought was going to be possible. Dami literally just had to run away full speed, and he would have been fine. The case was loose outside, and are we serious? How is that the ending of the round? But I'm pretty sure Piff has a clutch factor built into his head. I'm pretty sure he's younger than me. I think he's 15 right now, and he's absolutely cooking up. A 1v4 that was very well deserved for his team, but they need to wake up. You can't just have one man with a clutch factor pushing this game and prolonging the end, because if you do, that initiative's gonna run out eventually, and we will see the end of Shoobs Academy before they even head on to their own map.
Hopefully, Academy will extend their lives in a bit more of a sustainable fashion. Piff going huge is nice and all, but there's five people on this team, and 4 of them, more like 3 of them. Scary's been doing pretty good so far. I'm glad to see him on the Blackbeard now. He can get some huge impact in this round, but 3 of them need to start carrying their own weight here.
We're seeing 2 very obvious outliers for both teams. Make that 3, Adept 3 and 8. Not the usual scoreline for that guy. It's always usually the top fragger second, but it's not something we've been seeing here. Lecky 1 and 7 as well, and Trevmark, my apologies, is 3 and 7. I mean, These players need to step up if they want to push their team. Just imagine how much better of a BO3 this would have been if every single person here was positive. Not really something that is always for certain, but something for them to reflect upon. But focusing a little bit on the current round action, they've gotten operational open now, and they're taking the passive approach. Right now, not seeing much as droning, but holding angles, getting in the building, and using their utility to push the defenders out of certain spaces. Right now, though, their main idea should be to clear this smoke out. Having these stairs is always the big idea here, but regardless, Zonky takes out Clutch Factor Man himself, and Piff will go down and will not see another round if Turtle Tactics can manage to shut it out right here.
Get ready for the breach.
Still is Spider leading a lot of those smokes over by those rocket stairs. Scary. Easing presence over there the entire round. In the meantime, Soapy has taken quite a bit of control over by this mezzanine side, and an interesting piece of work. Could catch somebody by shooting Big Cat off eventually, unless Zonky has something to say about it. C4 flies and misses. Soapy still left standing. Not a lick of HP gone from him so far. Now, finally, that master office, the main breach will be getting open. Potentially opening up a huge avenue for the round, but how good is the drone game? How good is the information game here? Adept still 3 Deimos drones in the pocket. They've yet to track anybody. Zonky's position will go huge late game here. However, scary. Confident watching. That last smoke flying, but misses the mark. 4v4 post-plant situation seen now as C4 fly out.
Are we serious? Where was that C4 20 seconds ago? The plant goes down, Adept gets a kill, but gets quickly shut out right after. Quick refrag, yes, perfect, but what are you going to do about it now? The Blackbeard still on the board. Nyx now taken off the board. You need to rely on your own teammates to be able to not let the man walk in and plant, but that's just not something we're seeing here. Is this the downfall or the beginning of a downfall here for Turtle Tactics? That's 2 rounds in a row where massive blunders have happened, and that'll be scary for an easy kill. He only has a certain amount of bullets left in that very small capacity SMG-11. He has the aim at 3 operators here with fully automatic ARs, and he's shut out almost instantly. Come on now. Turtle Tactics, they had the advantage. They were at 6-2. And now, the advantage has been closed down to only 2 rounds. And a very well-deserved timeout is going to reign in.
Yeah, Coach Mint wanted to put a stop to the madness, says Shoob Academy. Frankly, robbery both times. Not only do you lose a 1v4 to Piff, but overall, that round was pretty easy. So easy, in fact, that Adept didn't even use a Deimos scan.
Wow, I'm actually speechless. Adept didn't even need to go below and use the death marks, like you just said. Are we, like, my mind cannot wrap around how they've managed to lose that round. They had the C4s, they had the Toxic Babes, and they just didn't use it. You even had the Tabaro sitting very close to the man planting. Instead of waiting until his teammates could come get him out of that certain corner, he just decided to try to use his own clutch factor, swing, and get head tapped almost instantly. I mean, it's just not the best display of teamwork, and it's definitely something to talk about, which I hope Mint addressed.
Yeah, I mean, Turtle Tactics so far getting flustered by Shoob these past 2 rounds. Shoob, of course, going to take any inch they can possibly get. A timeout for Turtle Tactics means a timeout for Shoob Academy as well. A moment of respite for them amongst all this chaos is definitely going to be really beneficial as they continue the run of survival.
This just has to be studied. Shoob's Academy, I thought it was over for them, but I did say the caster's curse might hit, and that's exactly what seems to have happened. Turtle Tactics was nothing short of excellent when they were on that 6-2 advantage. Shoob's Academy, I don't know what factor to switch. No timeouts needed. They didn't need a single word from their manager, and they have completely managed to rein it back in and make it very realistic to make a comeback. Maybe attacking layer is their good luck charm, but Shoob's Academy, they cannot count Turtle Tactics as a team to disregard when it comes to a comeback. They are still a team that has dissected their attacks and defenses very fast, so I'm kind of interested to see what this round holds in store for us.
Gary, once again on the shield, has caught up to Piff so far, so the kill department slowly building up. Shoob Academy, the drone work looking really fast and hot as well. Over at the edge of Armory, they do encounter their first problem. Does seem that somebody from Turtle Tactics is sitting directly behind that shield. Will be Domi. presumably maybe accompanied by an outline to stun Scary if he does walk through that doorway. However, Adept and company making a new doorway for themselves through the armory wall. Of course, that extra angle of pressure added does force Dami to fall back. Minutes left on the clock here so far. Still, Turtle Tactics lurking close by. Dami and TrevMac trying to make the dream happen. But in the meantime, the captain, the champion so far here, Nyx, looking very close by. We go to any second.
Finally, first blood, as you mentioned him, he will deliver. Nyx finding first kill and taking out the most prominent player here on Shoobs ACAD. But right now, this has been a one-in-a-kind round as they're going directly for that vertical interactions. It's just not something we've seen. We've usually just seen the Ram pick it on herself, and that's just not something we have seen. Shoobs Academy getting starved out yet again, losing Soapy this time. No verticality at all. They only have what the defenders have gave them, and Lecky, with a quick shot to the back of Nyx's head, will try to leveling out the playing field. And Scary will be the one to be able to do that. Why are we swinging in a two-man advantage is just the main question that I have, because it's constantly happening. You have to address it. The kid is loose, something finally going in the favor here of Turtle Tactics, and right now there is right below a minute to be able to address something. From friendly fire, taking care of Adept's health and getting him right down to 20 HP, meaning he is going to need to be a little bit more conservative with his gunfights. The drones raining in. Looks like a little bit of an action-packed play is going to be the idea here. Maybe just run down the stairs, drop a hatch, but these defenders posting up in sight are the main players that are going to be able to deny it. They have the C4s, they have the impacts, and I think this is going to be a very easy post scenario as it's tied up as a 3v3 and the case is still loose. Just don't swing. You have the bulletproof cameras. You have everything needed to be able to be successful in this round. C4 is getting ripped. You hear the Velcro. You need to reposition yourself before you start suffering here. Quick shot by Spider. He'll get the second. Almost finding the third, but getting shut out quickly after. 10 seconds left on the clock. And Adepti, you have that clutch factor left in you. There is the time, and you are against it, and Dami will find the final kill. And finally will shut out the game here, sending Turtle Acad up to Consulate with a map in hand.
Yeah, I mean, despite some uncharacteristic mistakes during the mid-round by Turtle Tactics, they confidently walk away with layers 7-4. Now Shoob ACAD on the back foot now in the Rite of Passage Grand Final. Only consulate left for them, unless you manage to take it the distance.
I mean, such an interesting round that it had me stuttering. It had me just completely hornswoggled, like to say, over at Harry Potter. Right now, we have seen the most interesting first map ever. It started off as a blowout. It started off as utility getting completely dissected from the beginning. But right now, we've seen some sort of life coming in here from Shoobs. If they can bring that onto their own map, we are going to see a very, very easy map 3. But if their timeouts, if that manager talk on the break doesn't happen, if it doesn't resonate with them in their heads, we are going to see a very, very interesting consulate game. But if you don't have any final thoughts here, Botanic, you guys need to keep your hats on your heads. You guys need to get a snack, hydrate, because we will be bringing back the series point and some action-packed gameplay after this break. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring it back to you from the break. A very interesting first map here, Lair. Something that we knew was going to be action-packed, but not in the way I would have thought. Quick blunders, quick clutches, aces, Nyx taking the clutch factor alongside with Piff. Both teams have a lot to offer here. But right now, one of them's the only team that will be on the series point, and they have lots to prove. If they can manage to continue on their clutch factor, this will be a very easy game for Turtle Tactics. But setting it aside, this is SpaceShoobs' map pick, and if they can manage to hold on, I am very excited to say that we might be going to a map 3.
Absolutely. Turtle Tactics, first time playing Lair so far here in the playoffs. It does seem like they had a lot of things up their sleeve. Their attacking half was off to an incredible start. Once they switched over to the defense, we could see here on the stat board, I mean, Scary, Piff, those guys woke up. Those guys are the main factors that contributed towards SpaceShoobs ACAD surviving as long as they did, but ultimately, it wasn't a sustainable way of playing. Turtle Tactics just had the better tactics.
Beautiful way to put it, my friend, but if we compare their bottom fraggers, you have Lecky going 2-8, and his main operators were Twitch and Warden. Trev didn't have a better game. He had one extra kill, going 3-8, but something he did have up his sleeve was he was going the wall denies. He was going the shield operators, and that was something that was setting them apart. TrevMac was always establishing areas that Lecky couldn't, and that is exactly what you expect from a teammate who's not having the best of games. One bad game does not define how you are going to play, and right now I feel like it's something that's commendable, the fact that he decided to take that up. Taking a look at Mr. Nyx himself, 12-8 with 2 plants down, and he was finding aces as well. He was finding gunfights while getting the diffuser down, and that's just something I like to say is absolute cinema. It was great. He played amazing, and that was a very well-deserved game for Turtle Tactics. When we move on to Consulate, it's SpaceShoobs Academy's pick. But and they adapt to the momentum already built up from Turtle Tactics.
I mean, I don't think they've busted it out in playoffs either, Shoob, so it's going to be a whole new experience for the both of us.
I feel like that is the best way to word it. I've only seen it being played once here for both sides of the playoff bracket. So, Consulate is up on the chopping block. Lots to be done here for them. If they can have Mr. Mint tell them to lock in and shut it out here, we are going to be seeing a very short grand final, sadly. Shoobs Academy, though, they're known for playing insanely odd on these layered maps. These 3-floored maps in these areas where you can just camp out in. They'll usually throw Piff in a corner, or they'll have Adept playing an insane operator. If he can manage to do the same thing, maybe, just maybe they can squeeze it on into Border, and we can finally see the cinema that we have been waiting for to send us to map 3 of a grand final here.
I mean, I sure do hope, speaking of Adept, that Shoob Academy consider throwing in that Deimos ban, Adept on Deimos during whatever was left of Shoob Academy's attacking half over on Layer. Wasn't really much of note. Blackbeard will be bland. That's still a pretty sensible pick, but I feel like you kind of deactivate Scary in a sense there, considering how much heavy lifting he was doing on Blackbeard. So Deimos, once again, still left standing. I'm a little bit confused here, Sino.
Yeah, honestly, not a single form of team play coming here from Shoobs Academy. They all have their own individual factor, and that's perfectly fine here. But you are not stopping Turtle Tactics on your own individual whims. Taking a look at the band phase, only targeted picks. Valkyrie is the main pick here. Everything else makes sense, but these are only operators we've seen being mained. Dokkaebi targets Piff. Blackbeard was just an absolute crucial operator. I mentioned it. Blitz is important, but just look at how important Blackbeard was from that halftime on. And Subaru, Zonki's key operator, especially when he goes on defense first, is also going to be starved out, meaning this will be a quite interesting first half.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Pretty interesting indeed. Pause, tease, but worry for not. We'll be getting into this game right here, right now. It is Turtle Tactics bringing a lot of the same operators they did over on Layer. You're seeing your Legions, you're seeing your Goyos, you're seeing your Ellas. However, Shoob Academy not prone to bring the shield, especially considering Blackbeard is now banned.
They need to be able to find different methods than relying on a shield op for map control. It just has to be something that we need to see here. Right now, it's not something that is going to be essential because the shield operators on this specific site are going to have to struggle, because if they don't funnel in from that yellow side or spiral stairs, they're going to have to rely or resort to just hopping in windows, and that's just not something I think they will be up for. Admin control is usually the main name of the game for these pushes, so hopefully they get this catering breach open and proceed to funnel in and show us some of that utility-heavy gameplay. This is Shoobs' first time attacking on the map. Hopefully they have something to show us.
Speaking of showing, there'll be a lot of aggression by Shoobs Academy shown over toward that admin side. Zonky trying to litter it with goos to at least have a preemptive bit of information for when they repel in. However, Piff will just be dealing with all that utility nicely from the safety of the window, and has so many potential angles to look through, as in the meantime, Soapy will be taking the first pick over onto Spider. Now losing the Ella, not the worst thing in the world, but Dami falling so early, so carelessly. Now that is gonna sting. Zonky gets the memo, managed to get out, dodge just in the nick of time. However, Turtle Tactics bleeding. They do sit at a 3v5 disadvantage.
They're really starting to show us why this is their map. Really finding both picks quite easily. In the building quite fast. 1 minute 40 seconds, which is attacker's heaven when it comes to going for an execute here. 2 picks, make it 3 double kill here for Scary, as they are really starting to starve out every single player here. That admin control failed in about 30 seconds here. The drones came in, the hives came in here from the Grim, and that was just a beautiful dissection. Nyx still might have that clutch factor, a little bit of that momentum and adrenaline left from that last game, as he is going to be the only man on the roam in 1 of 2 to hopefully deny around, as they are going for a plant, and not a single man is aware that he is below and going for it. Smoke canister falling short, and as he does deny the plant, he'll get shut out shortly, as Adept will somehow hear that beautiful audio there. Toxic Babes won't quite do the job, and the plant will go down. as we have Trevmark just stuck in a corner and not able to move. The catering breach is open. They have the control of the long desk, and admin is now the next area where they can go stationary. But catering breach is all that is needed to end out this round. It's a very beautiful first round here for Shoobs ACAD. We'll give them the lead.
A very welcome change of pace here for the momentum of the game. So far, Shoobs Academy looking extremely confident on their own map pick. Turtle Tactics, some early blunders early on, especially, I believe it was Zonky just running straight into admin after being beat, not getting the memo that was time to leave, giving Shoobs Academy an easy man advantage that they took all the way home. But it does seem that Turtle Tactics not really looking forward to trying the top floor bomb set again, so they'll be opting to go basement instead.
I mean, hopefully this quick reiteration of their hold is going to help them out, because it's something we saw on later when that upstairs site wasn't working out. They instantly tried downstairs and they managed to win. That was for Shoobs ACAD. So right now, Turtle Tactics kind of taking a page out of their notebook, bringing all the staple operators needed except for the Mozzie. Usually you see a Castle in his place, but that's just not something that they think will be mandatory. We'll see how that will play out. No Kaid for the breaches here, and I kind of have to question Turtle Tactics and what they're doing here. No wall deny here. No Kaid, despite him being on the board, meaning these hatches are going to get opened up quite easily alongside with the walls. Full server take is not something you want to deal with not a single wall deny. It looks like Piff is kind of having a stroke here trying to aim out both of these windows.
Absolutely. If just looking for something, might be the case, but it seemed that Shoobs Academy have their eyes set back on a backside push. They are enlisting the helps of Scary over on the Blitz, and from map 1, at least in the hands of Trev Mac, we get to see how lethal the Blitz can be. Well positioned, however, the main concern here is getting into secret side period. They do waste Selma in the process, but thankfully Soapy has the pocket shotgun in his hands. It's taking a little bit of complications right now and some pressure over by Visa's side. Does distract him for a little bit longer, but they still can't get into secret side. Just shoot the damn wall, guys. But anyway, they do have information over on servers. Now that'll be a sign of Turtle Tactics for them to flee.
I mean, Jesus Christ, finally, after 35 attempts, Blitz's fat self managed to walk in and it worked out in his favor. But I mean, it really doesn't take a genius to figure out you need to shoot that one big beam sticking out in your face. But finally, they do something. They'll also open up the single breach as well, pushing on into sight. They can control server quite fast. They're moving very, very fast here. And right now, they haven't used their drones. They haven't looked for a single roamer, which could be a potential problem. Dommy's the man on the roam, and if he can manage to get around without being detected, there's no gridlock, there's no nomad. He could get lucky, he could have an easy break, and that will be a very, very chaotic round here for Shoobs ACAD. But this long haul is a little bit of a death wish, especially with no zombies, so it's all going to rain down to gunfights and getting these defenders out of the pesky little corners that await them down here.
And Turtle Tactics doing really good on their utility conservation. I mean, 3 C4s in a pocket, narrow hallways, not to mention Trevmac. Still 2 smokes in the pocket, and an almost 45-second scenario here. I mean, the utility game looking really good for Turtle Tactics, but the man advantage not too hot right now as 2 picks fall away of the Shoobs Academy. Maybe even a third now as the prone. Oh my god.
What?
He gets his gun up just in the nick of time. Zonky still stands, and they completely flip the scenario. However, Adept, a position inside kitchen, is going to be extremely crucial to see what he does. Masked by the trays, not good enough. A 1v3 now for Lucky, and the entire scenario collapses for Shoobs Academy. Turtle Tactics somehow come back from that.
What the hell? You were up 2 bodies. You were basically granted free entry into site. How did they manage? Dami wasn't even active until all of the bodies had dropped, and they still managed to choke that. You
They
have
had
just
the Mira dead or rights.
You had the Mira knocked out cold, and you let her get up, aim her gun down, and take your face off. I'm at a loss for words. It's just something you can't allow to happen. That was the quickest recovery coming in here from Turtle Tactics. They were getting starved out here for bodies, but Mira evens it out. The quick whiff from Adept really just isolates it. Maverick too late to the scene. It was honestly just an interesting round. I don't want to say horrible because it was Turtle Tactics' quick adaptation that allowed them to get the round. But Shoobs, ACAT, it's your map. You can't allow things like that to happen. It started off with you not being able to fit your blitz into the breach, and it ended off with you guys allowing your blitz to get completely destroyed. Notes to take into the next round, and hopefully we are going to see them play better as a team.
Attackers are heading out to the
Hopefully some better scenes from Shoob Academy. Pretty much close but no cigar multiple times all throughout this series. However, still early scenes here on their own map pick, and we've seen how confident they can take things. The circumstances are correct.
All about that utility play, all about that drone. Something you didn't see from Shoobs ACAT. I told you that was going to be a problem. He didn't drone. And guess what? You got a kill. Honestly, just due to the fact that Adept whiffed, but he still got a kill, and I'm still right. But right now, Piano is the site. Verticality is a must. Maybe not establishing it, but getting rid of the players playing up here, because a plant is nearly impossible on a fully wooden floored site from the basement and from the 3rd floor. Dami assigned to keeping this long desk held down, and a little surprising, they didn't bring the mirror here. It's like they want to make things harder for themselves. You have 3 defenders up here. How useful would have a mirror been to this site setup? Again, something we haven't seen, and Scary brought his Twitch just in case that mirror was brought. But now on the chopping block for him is find the F-Knots and find the utility you can starve out, as these attackers are slowly starting to converge on this one location, trying to get this floor cleared up before they get the verticality established.
In the meantime, Adapt is square in the middle of the bomb site. Wait, actually, not that. Ooh, I got a little bit confused there. Ooh, but no. Just a lot of map control. Sorry. A lot of map control already taken for Shoobs Academy. However, some parting gifts from Donkey in the form that smoke. As most of Turtle Tactics will be able to fall back safely. Tommy still wanted to fight it. Not advisable, but a very inconvenient trade, but a trade nonetheless from Donkey. Well positioned bit of vertical play there. That's why I love Rainbow Six Siege. But now, a minute left here on the clock. Dami down short. There go you keep a barrier. Zonky managed to get the refrag. However, only down to 1 smoke. Losing Scary, not the worst thing ever. The Twitch could only do so much in this scenario. Maybe dealing with those Fenrir mines from Nyx is going to be a little bit annoying as the clock drains down to less than 40 seconds here. But overall, still good looks for the Shoob Academy.
Academy finally keeping their bodies up here. It's 1-all, 34 seconds left on the clock. It's all starting to run down. Lucky finding a kill here. Make that 2. He continues to capitalize, and that is great for his team because you don't want to see another toss. But apparently Piff left his headset at home as he gets shot in the back here by Trev, giving him access to verticality yet again, meaning a plant will be very easy to deny if he can get there in time. 13 seconds left on the clock. The announcer says, and so do I. Soapy will find a kill. You just need to deny the bomb, but you just can't see it from that range. And Lucky, he's a step ahead. He knows you're going for that denial. Will shut you out from the verticality. And one man comes to the aid of Shoobs ACAT to give them their 2nd round.
I love that as soon as Trev gets that kill by yellow side, it's Lucky instantly sprinting up those spiral stairs to meet him, just to avoid any possibility of any last-second plant denial fuckery going on. Very well done by Shoobs Academy.
Honestly, couldn't have said it better. You know what? I'm at a loss of words here. Both teams are really making this entertaining, not because they're insanely coordinated, but because of how insanely uncoordinated some rounds are. That really gives this game the touch that says Rainbow Six Siege. For some reason, we have Dami sticking his face into a door when he's been hit twice with the 417. What makes you think the 3rd time around will keep your face safe? That was the first blood for Shoobs ACAT. It's
What if he had any Kibos left?
There was 1 regenning left in the pocket, and he said, yes, my face into his crosshairs, that's where I'm going. And he suffered. That is essentially the first domino for losing upstairs site control. They got the first refrag, yes, but how nice would it have been to be a 5v4 in your hand? Shoobs Academy walk out victorious, and hopefully they can continue to do so. Meanwhile, the parameter allows us to go back upstairs and will show us some hopefully interesting gameplay. Piff, come on, man. He'll take care of Zonky. That's a C4 deprived and 1 for admin. And that'll be first blood for Shoobs ACAT yet again.
That's pretty interesting, I'd say. I know Zonky's gonna be a little bit pissed he died on so early. However, at the very least, his mute jammer is presumably all used. Shoob Academy showing intentions over by that admin side once again, and Soapy, well, a welcome surprise over by the catering wall. A potential long angle, potential easy pick onto Nyx if he dares peek this, but Soapy gives up on the angle just a little bit too early. And speaking of interesting things, well, Nyx in the Tatanka period, now operating at a man disadvantage. How effective are those fires going to be, especially now as Shoob Academy have full control over the admin side?
Pinch me if I'm dreaming. Are they using goddamn Tachanka with an LMG? He has an ACOG on his... You know what? I'm better than to question what Nyx is thinking. He was doing great the first map. I don't know if you'll have a good time using this LMG the second, but as of now, his team is down. The Shmikas are going to be essential for denying easy access to site. But right now, you have not a single person near Longden. It is just a dead man. No one's there. It's just a Borderlands. No one's there. You have Piff clearing every single corner, making sure all is okay to walk in, and that's exactly what you want, clearing your basics. But they're only down a body, and they've just all seen refuge in one site. They're all just sitting in the B chassis waiting. This time, finally, not smoke canisters, it will be Shmikas to help out, and it will deny the plant. But the laser, oh, Azami, oh, Dami, you almost screwed yourself over, but you managed to win that gunfight. Piff managing to go down. They're trying to get easy access into site, and that's exactly what he will do. Tachanka, do you hear it? No C4, no canisters left. Oh, there is a canister left. You used them, but you used them too late. Again, you have to question, where are the headsets? Were they left at home? Because the plant's down, Adept is terrorizing, and now Shoobs Academy just needs to sit in a corner where they can try and run down the clock. But somehow, everybody has dropped, and we are in a 1v1 situation where Scary manages to win it. Are we serious? No, I'm actually going to get agitated, because no wonder you've brought the Tachanka LMG. No shit, it's not going to be enough against Zophia's AR.
Just a utility dump simulator. Fire, smoke, stuns, explosions, flashbangs. And once again, Soapy with the Hood Classic. Let me just run through everything and try and get plant down. It works. It works really well this time. And just turtle tactics with no information, with no utility left to try and clear out any of these angles in a post-plant situation. And they flood one by one. The refrag theory shows it lands in a 1v1 scenario, but just Nyx, not the right gun for the job. And Scary managed to take it across the finish line. Forces out a timeout, and I'm sure Coach Mint might be chewing them out right now.
I mean, I would be too. I wish we had a perspective on what was being said. Because are we serious? One man with the case carrier sees the fact that the main default is completely Shmika'd off. So he just sprints in, and not a single man is watching it. Bring the Mira if you aren't confident of holding long angles. That is the main idea. But right now, Turtle Tactics is too nonchalant. This is going to map 3 100% if this sort of playstyle continues, because they're playing so passive. The last game, we saw them playing passive with a certain amount of aggression that was working out in their favor. This is just passiveness. And right now, the turtle doesn't win the race against the rabbit. I don't care how patient you are. If you sit in a corner and wait for your demise, you have all 4 players backed up near the B chassis, not a single man watching the A. Of course you're gonna suffer. One man behind that long couch, one man on long desk would have completely changed the outcome of that round, and we could have been seeing a completely different scoreline.
I mean, just losing Zonky so early on such a random kill obviously opens up admin way faster than Turtle Tactics would like. You just gotta take the mistakes, gotta take the random stuff that happened in this game in stride. A lot of these members on Turtle Tactics, very experienced players, have dealt with various levels of stress before, so this should be nothing new for them. Gotta say, Shoob Academy must be feeling really hot right now, off to a fantastic start on their own map pick.
Honestly, I would be completely hyped too. Regardless if it's their map pick or not, it doesn't matter. But they are a team that was getting completely destroyed the first game around. The fact that they've completely managed to turn it around, they're looking at the 2-round advantage now. If they can continue to capitalize, a very well-deserved border map should be up next. But we need to focus a little bit more on what's going on now, because we are just 1 round shy away from the halftime switch. If Shoobs Academy falls or goes up to 5-1 and Turtle Tactics falls 4 rounds short, it's 100%. There's just no way. And by the way they're playing, they're just playing scared. Shoobs Academy has everything needed in their arsenal to be able to push it to this certain narrative and push it to this certain map.
Lots of great work done so far by Shoobs Academy. Map control taken. Zonky recovering things beautifully. They well play C4 onto a death before he gets to let loose any of these Bs that could very much be harmful towards the final execute. So far, at the very least, huge amounts of vertical possession so far for the Shoobs. But now what? Almost a minute on the clock. You're down a man. Really just got to figure out how you want to position yourself here. Zonky has that mirror window directly looking into that yellow door. Max still 2 smokes in the pocket, 1 C4 still in the pocket of Spider. Not only that, he's Warden. So if any more smokes fly, he's the man for the job.
We've seen this story before, and it ended up with the only round Turtle Tactics have in their pocket right now. Right now, they haven't gone for that server take, and I'm saying right now a lot because it's just, so much pressure building up here, and it's just Turtle Tactics to continue to punish and brutalize. It's the only site Shoobs haven't been able to win here, and that is something that needs to go down in their agenda, their notebook, which needs to be tackled next. Kit loose, Piff is left on the board, and so is Lecky. Piff not having his hero factor this game on his own map, but always has the map and the rest of the rounds to prove himself, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon. Spider shuts him out. Lucky getting a quick refrag in the meantime, but who else but Spider for that quick double kill to end it out and try to hold off Shoobs Academy from building up that very long differential that will continue to make them suffer from this game.
I like the attempt from Shoobs to try and switch up the attack there, attacking basement once again. However, that was about 10 times more dominant from Turtle Tactics. Turtle Tactics, the first time round, they were operating on a miracle. A bit of a misplay from the Shoobs. However, this time round, as you can see here on the replay, I mean, Spider just shut everybody down by yellow door. Really, not much you could have done there.
What else could you say than well played? Not a lot of people really know about that hop-up, actually. No matter Pro League or not. I don't see that being used in ranked tournaments. I only see it being used 1 out of every 5, maybe so 6 rounds on defense down there. Hopping up in that cafeteria room is just such an easy pixel onto the yellow door. It was utilized and it won them the round. 2 very easy picks here for Spider. They'll move on to the split site. I'm always curious to see how teams hold it. Sometimes we see a pulse, sometimes we see a Solus. But all that matters is there's a chassis on 1 floor and there's another one in the basement. So it's gonna be a little bit interesting. And I think the 4 C4s are going to push that narrative a little bit harder to give us an entertaining round. I'm quite curious to see how 4 C4s will be utilized.
All I can really say is that Turtle Tactics plans to bring the boom, and I feel quite bad for Scary, for the absolute landmine field he's about to walk into. But it's neither here nor there right now. I'm assuming Shoobs Academy, that's going to take it down secret stairs where they're going to be at the very least the least susceptible to any sort of C4 explosions.
Gary, just waiting to rush here, maybe? They have everything needed to get it done. They're getting the time factors in their favor, but they're completely unaware that there's a man bandit trick. Somehow, some way, and form. Right now, we've seen one Selma completely deprived of the attacker's hold. And now verticality seems to be next on the chopping block. Not much, really. I think it's the Visa hatch that will be the most important. And it won't be electrified because I don't know why. Taid has been brought, but not being prioritized on this hatch. And you will see 1 roamer that will be on the 2nd floor. I haven't seen much out of him. He's gotten his refrags. He's helped out his team, but he hasn't done anything too out of the ordinary for us to be able to point him out and say, oh yeah, he's doing this correct, he's doing this not correctly. But 4 and 4 He has a clean slate of a 1 KD, and he has the ability to do anything. He will open it up by taking care of Adept, and that is the striker taking care of, and I'm pretty sure that was the man holding the can openers. Vana, the only hard breacher left to be able to get these hatches open, and Nyx quickly refragged out. Can he be found on the finish?
Thankfully, though, Nyx down, but once again, Shoobs Academy no opportunity to recover the man advantage, especially as Piff just goes forward with a complete lack of information. It's Zonky able to get a steal there. Looking to equalize half 3-3 apiece. Not only Lecky and Scary left, mind you, still 3 C4s on the board. Zonky also has Vert on the door they want to walk through. They're gonna have to take this through bottom spiral to have any hope of recovering this round, but still 40 seconds left on the clock, so you know this is looking like an impossible situation.
I mean, quick refrag here. Well done, Lucky. He's trying to fight it out, but that was the player you originally had at 20 HP and downed. You have 25 seconds left. The kit, yes, is in hand, but what does it do against 2 C4s and every single defender waiting? They want to have that 3-3 split. They're committed to it, but you're going to full send it without the coverage, and you're going to fall, because what the hell else did you expect? Now, kit loose, 10 seconds left, and the easy shots to the back by Trev ends out the round, sends it to a tie half, and that is not something you want. You started off so well. You came out the box swinging. You were ready to send it to map 3, and it looks like you've accepted your fate now. You've allowed Turtle Tactics to catch back up, and Shoobs Academy falling short every single time is going to be the main idea that is going to be their downfall.
Yeah, I mean, Turtle Tactics with a beautiful recovery into this first half of play, making it look like a very competitive affair despite the beauty that Shoobs ACAD was showing us. Now, go on to Shoobs defense. We get to see, at the very least, some similar patterns. We do get to see that both teams have a preference for Tachanka over on the top floor.
I don't know. Is he using the SMG? Is my main like phobia. If he's using that LMG, I'm gonna lose my mind. But while I wait for him to switch to his primary, their first round on defense has to be something that is extraordinary, because we're seeing them fall short now to every hole by Turtle Tactics. And when you let Turtle Tactics go on a run, we see what they're able to do. They use momentum to their favor, and they have Nyx on them. They have Zonky. They have so many veterans on their team. They know that patience is so important. And when you bring that against Shoobs Academy with players such as Piff, who thinks aggression is the first thing on the chopping block, they're going to suffer. First rounds of defense that they were bringing to us were absolutely horrible. And Shoobs Academy was capitalizing. And if we can see that again, maybe map 3. But we need to see these players learn that maybe swinging first and questioning later is going to be their downfall.
Ooh, beautifully placed nade by there. Domi gonna be getting rid of a lot of these Goyos. Gonna be very useful towards a post-planet scenario very early on. In the meantime, Nyx is gonna be throwing out some Bs. See if he can catch any bit of information over by the admin side. With the intent here, Sino seems very much towards CEO.
Right now, just look at how they're setting up. They have the Nomad, they have the Claymores all prepared. But is there anybody playing on the verticality? They look safe right now, but the amount of denial that is on this window has to be crucial. Smoke grenade, Shmika, C4, and a first blood that goes against them is actually going to help them out. Domi is going to be attacking from Visa. Will be that obvious outlier, that very annoying person that you're going to have to continue to watch your backs for while Buck shoots the floor out from below you. The floor is lava, essentially. And right now, the quick shots and the quick rotates here from the Nook creates that doubt for the defenders that they are going to have to look for when this plan is eventually going to go down. We're getting below that 1 minute 30 mark, and everything is going to come to a halt here while both teams reevaluate what the attack and the defense plan will be. Is it going to be to drone? Is it going to be to get rid of the utility? Or is it going to be sit in a corner and wait for this plant to go down? But somehow, Piff has managed to get onto this first floor undetected, unnoticed by drones, and will be looking for Zonky. But will it be too late, as the quick, complete rotation will allow Visa to be the next point on the chopping block, as Adept will find a kill. Thank God, using the SMG and putting us at a stalemate of a 4v4.
Despite how much chaos we saw over by CEO, I was about to say Adept, still plenty of Shumika charges left in the pocket. Those are completely irrelevant now as Zonky falls. However, still a post-plant scenario here for the Turtle Tactics. Still still have 2 members left standing, and the HP is looking very scary for Shoob Academy. Lecky over by Vending's side, an incredible 2-piece on Trebmac and Nyx. And despite the concerns, despite the chaos, it will be Shoob's Academy walking away with their first round on defense.
I don't care. Call a timeout. Bring it in from nowhere.
Disable the bomb diffuser.
For both teams, really, it just has my hands on my head. How are we allowing them to plant on the same exact spot you planted on 5 rounds ago? Make it make sense. It's just an endless circle of bullshit that we're seeing here. And both teams very well played out here by Shoob's Academy. Very quick recovery, low HP, SMG-11, enough to do the job. Beautifully placed crosshairs, and that gave them finally an advantage that was needed. But one round, just one slick round, is stopping you from having it all tied up. If you can continue to have these clutch factors, maybe from all of these players together, maybe we will see something that will send us to that 3rd map.
Maybe indeed. I mean, we're seeing some very similar patterns across both of these teams that were on Consulate. Maybe reinforce the point. They're just 2 sides of the same coin as they go back and forth all throughout this match. This is looking to be an extremely competitive affair, more so than Layer already. I'm excited to see what action we can get from both teams here. Now it's the Shoob's turn to defend this basement side.
I actually have to think on how I want to place this next sentence, because there's just so much that could be said, but my brain just cannot process what I'm seeing. This game, the fact that it's a tie, or was a tie, is beautiful because it continues to push both teams to continue to give us their best performance. Map 3 or no map 3, they're trying their best, and that's something I love to see. But right now, all about how they use their utility right here and right now. And I think sometimes both of these teams usually try to forget. Shoob's Academy was doing it more. They have the aggression. They have that Call of Duty playstyle from time to time. And I think that was something that was starting to affect them. Turtle Tactics, always taking the calm approach, but sometimes too calm, as we were seeing earlier on in the game. They're taking too much time to execute. And I think the fact that they've just completely ironed out these wrinkles is something I say good job to, because they're taking their time now and getting aggressive, and Shoob's Academy has completely slowed down. But in the meantime, first blood in the favor of Shoob's Academy, and that'll be Zonky taken care of.
Yeah, an incredible kill there. First scary to open up, and nice slow attack over by that connector side. Unloads a little bit into the reinforced hatch, but you know, nice little instinct pre-fire. However, Nyx made his way down those yellow steps, catch anybody off in case they want to retake space up above, especially as Dami is making his presence known over on that ram. Adept eating a huge tag, but managed to come out on top over Trev, and there's one of the hard breachers down. Bit by bit, Shoob's Academy walk away with round after round. Now, almost a minute left on the clock here, and well, Turtle Tactics gonna have to carve this one out the hard way. They do have that hatch open, or by that expo side. Shoobs, though, very close together, ready to refract, play off each other's contact whenever needed, unless Scary just runs out into the open for no reason. Albert Sophie, on the other side of things, does take down Nyx. Still very good for a very good man advantage right now for the Shoobs. Dami left limping, 44 seconds left on the clock, and for the most part, that was their signal to leave. One member of the Shoobs, Adept, still lurking close by.
Look at that health coming in here from Dami. Everybody here has their own individual challenges, and I told you that health would have been completely something you have to worry about. But I mean, Adept here for that triple kill ends out the round very swiftly. I couldn't even see what just happened because of that one man that was down. Verticality couldn't be established. They got starved out before they even got into the building. But I think the chats in the all chat is something that's also contributing to this, because what is going on? You just have a bunch of shit talk. You have a bunch of random things going on in the chat. One team's trying to establish vert, the other one's just randomly swinging, and it's working out for both teams, 1 round on and 1 round off. Shoob's Academy, granted, has now started to win their rounds. They've started to lock in. They know what is next for them, and it's working out in their favor. Turtle Tactics has slowed down and going right back to their first and second round gameplay, where they just take the Call of Duty approach and toss it out the window with no aggression whatsoever. They're allowing the attackers, or the defenders, my apologies, to just completely swing and take care of them one by one.
The dominoes fall here for the Turtle Tankers over on Consulate. And for the most part, so, you know, they just look kind of lost, especially in the attacks. It's extremely common for somebody from SpaceShoobs to just get an early pick. Somebody from Turtle Tankers tries to get the refrag, they fall as well. And they leave 3 of their teammates left that recover the rest of the map by themselves.
And now that mid-floor piano site, very, very important that they take it here. Turtle Tactics lose this site, this game, you can kiss it goodbye, because Shoobs Academy has defense on match point. The main idea should be, how long can we starve this team of rounds while we can try to close down the differential, try to close down these rounds. The aggression here from Shoobs ACAD sometimes comes with a hefty price. It was a high risk, and you get no rewards out of it, as Scary falls first, the blitz being brought. This is just a formula for chaos. You have 2 shield ops, you have Lion, you have Finka. Just look at how much utility, how much pressure is going to be brought on by these 3 operators. Verticality, they don't have the soft creature, but what they do have is the idea and ability to clear off the players sitting upstairs, and that should be enough. If not, going to be a big problem. The man running into connector, trying to take care of business here. Only Dami taking a bit of damage, but will fall eventually here to Soapy. And right now, Blitz will be the next man to get into the gunfight. Very easy kill, but somehow he walks out alive. Soapy, how did you manage? Spider finding a refrag, but he still has the man advantage for his team. Soapy, what a heroic play here. Still manages to keep whatever left of verticality still there, but Zonky does not like or take to heroics quite easily here, as verticality is going to be completely dismantled in a couple of seconds here. He's 20 HP. The attackers are circling. In some time this round, you're gonna have to respond. Did he just die to a frost mat?
What? Scary with the 200 IQ Frostmat. That's a major linchpin in the attack lost. I mean, sure, Soapy has left limping, but still, the clock approaching a minute now. And now, Turtle Tactics just putting a break on things. Spider, prone, just watching out for the potential retake of space up yellow. And now Soapy's been spotted on the drone. Very disciplined from the side of the Turtle Tactics. However, only 1 nade to the pocket. No more lying calls. However, 2 perfectly healthy attackers last standing. Soapy, a lot of pressure up on him right now. This could be a match point. This could be a further extension of the series, as winning this clutch would guarantee overtime at the very least. SpaceShoobs Academy will be Zonky dropping into the site, sound masked by the grenade. Soapy gonna be lurking close by that west corridor. Will be Zonky planting. 1 person with their gun up, but Spider, safe pair of hands, finishing the round for the Turtle Tactics.
These last couple of rounds have had me feeling in one mood, and that mood is I just want to headbutt my monitor. What are we seeing? Monty hot dropping the hatch like we are back in Warzone Rebirth and dying instantly to a frost map. That was beautiful from Scary, from the grave. Even though he got absolutely destroyed by Dami, he still was something to deal with later on in the round. But there are just so many points of error coming in here from SpaceShoobs, ACAD, and Turtle Tactics. For instance, Turtle Tactics, they claimed yellow very fast. Good job, you got the job done. But then the blitz, very easy kill. Silver platter. And you just don't hit a headshot instantly, allowing a blind hit fire to take your life. That's something that just cannot happen, especially when you're trying to close out the differential. Thank God, though, there were teammates who were rising up to the occasion, being Zonky, finding kills on the other side of the map, dissecting the other side of the verticality. So, a little bit of a 50-50 round here. Lots to be improved for both teams. But right now, as it stands, we walk away at a 5-4 situation, and hopefully it's actually starting to pick up as both teams are starting to adapt to each other's playstyle.
I mean, Turtle Tactics making a huge adaptation in the past 2 rounds here, bringing both the Monty and the Blitz. They're absolutely boxing SpaceShoobs Academy so far. We got to see the monstrous effort it was to take down Trevmac, but still, Nick's left standing. Nick's to apply a lot of pressure. Sure, he dies in a bit of a goofy way there towards the end, but still, a double shield is a lot of pressure to deal with. Now, SpaceShoobs Academy bringing the utility necessary to deal with this threat. I mean, you got Goyos, you got goo mines, you have smokes. However, all gonna be how Turtle Tactics slowly peels the utility away, Sino.
Couldn't have worded it better. They need to take the time here. They need to get rid of the util. That was something we've been seeing from Turtle Tactics on the last map. Not something I've been seeing this week. They need to take the time on layer, or like they did on layer. They got things done by taking the time, playing as a team, and right now, your blitz, why is your blitz repelled? It's just questionable on all fronts here. First Blood takes care of Trev Mac, and he's 3-8 yet again. It looks like Blitz just might not be his operator, especially when you have the shield on a window. It's definitely not going to be effective if it's like a turtle shell. I know you like to live up to your teams, Dave, and be their mascot. But right now, it's just not helping. Volcan canisters deny yellow for some time, and that Velcro being ripped is definitely going to keep this Monty at bay. You need to be passive, and you need to be mindful of your health, especially if you're the kit carrier. Lots to be done here, and right now, yellow control is essential to keep a hold of. And wow, double kill as I blink here for Adept. Adami with a quick refrag, but is it enough? As there are still 2 bodies unaccounted for here for Turtle Tactics.
I mean, who even needs utility when the crossfires are absolutely on point for the Shoobs? Nyx just gets deleted as soon as he dropped his shield. And now, Spider with a trail of ROU.
Like, what?
Just death and destruction in his wake. Dami managed to repel silently into that CEO side. However, his position now known after taking down Adept. 3 people to go through and not enough bullets in the chamber. Scary with the Mossberg straight in the chest. Takes Shoobs to match point on map 2.
I just need to know, what was the thought process there from the Sens? Ah, yes. 4 people are looking at me. Let me hop in there and take them on with an ACOG. The man sitting closer zoomed into his eyebrow hairs. No wonder you got destroyed in 5 seconds. But that's focusing on the negatives. Shoobs Academy, absolutely beautiful, as you mentioned before. Their crosshairs directly on point. Adept waiting, getting things done here. Oh my god, I just saw that back on the replay. Why is there a pistol contesting a window?
Attackers.
Like, you're just asking for it. You're asking to go map 3. We are getting shot off of windows as a shield operator.
Attackers have discovered
Absolutely beautiful from Shoobs Academy, but this is the point where you kind of just put your hands on your head and say, what the hell is Turtle Tactics thinking?
I mean, this game is perfectly balanced as all things should be. We might be in the cards for a 7-4, 7-4 as we go into border. And with both of these teams displaying very high octane aggression at different points, at different maps. I mean, depending on the bans, border could be an absolute chaos field.
Wow, I'm still speechless, honestly. I haven't been able to find a correct sentence since the first 4 rounds. Everything that I think can't get worse gets worse. It went from Frostman under a hatch to Blitz playing on a window. If something happens in this round that sends me over the edge, I'm sorry if I crash out. In advance. The server push, though, seems to be the main idea here. No bandit will be committed to it. That quick 1 electric shock, and it looks like Turtle Tactics takes both approaches here. Look at both breaches open, and then push in from the server side, and then maybe the main side. Now, pressure is there just in case, if you need it. Right now, getting control of that archive area is very important, because if you take control of archives, and the server below, and you just waltz in, you'll have a great time isolating. But something they have to be mindful of is, I'm just noticing now that hatch is open, meaning a very long angle facing into the server door is going to be established. This is going to be a problem that they're going to need to address, and they won't be able to address that if they don't drone it out.
We need to see some more impact here out of Edmac from the Blitz. So far, he's just been first man going straight into the carnage, leaving Nyx to do all the shield pressure duties so far. However, manages to live just a little bit longer as Turtle Tactics make their way in through server side. No casualties so far. The drone work looking good. Nobody from Shoobs Academy aware of the potential threat coming their way so far. Maybe these well-placed Fenrir mines from Sophie could indicate the push. Adept and Scary lurking up top. However, how long will it take them to notice that it's time for them to be called back into the bomb site? Line call flying out. Adept Ignores it completely. Trevmac so close, putting a lot of pressure on the Piff. C4 does nothing. Is that security room wall open? And the pressure's on. Everybody from Shoob, well, except Adept, back into the bomb site. 48 seconds on the clock. Utility flying everywhere. The potential bottom spiral flank could be a huge dagger for the Turtle Tactics. However, if Nyx goes down, doesn't really matter, as Trevmac finally comes alive. 3v5 now for the Turtle Tactics. However, my god, it's only Adept. Spider left limping from all these engagements. He's going 12 and 7 as he finds Spider. Only a 1v1 right now as Nyx has been left to plant.
Oh my god!
How are the plant successful? All he has to do is try and box his shield. It's up to how well Nyx can move around. Finds an opportunity, however, misses it. One melee right after the other. Nyx stays alive. He wants to hold on to this map for as long as he can. How many more melee hits, Sino? It's an absolute brawl.
Oh my god!
He's depleting years of frustration into this shield right now, and Nyx dancing around like it's an arcade game. Oh my god, 12 seconds left on the defuse. Only a few more, Nyx. Hold on tight. He did it! He successfully danced around him for about 20 seconds. And my god, the melee at the end. Oh my god. That was beautiful.
Are we serious? I mean, well job. Good job, Nyx. You've been getting clowned this whole game. Yeah, well, no, I'm speechless. Nyx has been getting clowned all game. Very good clutch. Adept just has the clutch factor until he doesn't. Hit fire. You have 31 bullets in the gun. Use them. We're just slapping the shield all willy-nilly, hoping to God it works out. And no wonder you lost the round. Shoot your damn gun. You did it perfectly on the first 3. Why'd you stop at the 4th? I'm genuinely starting to get angry on the tomfoolery we are seeing here today. What is going on? Turtle Tactics prolonged the end of this map, but it just shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. It was a 3v1, completely tossed by Turtle Tactics. Why are you contesting the main breach with the plant down? But Shoobs Academy says, you want to throw, we'll throw even harder. And they proceed to toss the window and go out the window head first. I'm at a loss of words.
Attackers are heading out to the
A loss for words indeed. At the very least, it's entertaining. Pretty funny if you think about it. Now, Turtle Tactics, at the very edge of taking this game into overtime. Some more hilarity can ensue. However, they break away from their usual pattern and opt to go no shield at all. So, Shoob Academy, how are they going to deal with this more gun-heavy threat that's the present? They still have a lot of utility with the intention of dealing with these shields, mostly in the form of Scary on the Goyo. However, it's been just mostly an afterthought for him. He's been running around, gunning around, to mostly a success, but it's Adept who's been showing real impact on his squad, nearly 15 kills to his name.
You know what? I would completely agree with you if he didn't just toss that round.
I mean, old man Nyx has some moves, man. Like, he's quick on his feet.
He's currently also 3 and 9, so I mean.
I mean, you can be a better dancer than a better shooter, you know?
Nomical would know. But right now, he needs to get his head out the gutter. Finally, not restricted to a shield operator. He's on Thermite. He has a fully automatic, and hopefully he can lock in with it. Because that gun, the 5.56, is not something that goes easy. It hits pretty hard, and if you can capitalize with it, maybe, just maybe, you give your team that lifeline. But as of right now, Zonky taking the first couple of hits as he gets floor banged by Scary. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's basement, right? They have lots to do here. Yeah, it is. There you go. Okay. They have denial. They have verticality. They have everything needed. And first blood goes in the favor of Spider. I think the way Turtle Tactics is playing, if they don't toss it like last time, we might be seeing a very, very interesting overtime if they can push it.
I mean, a member of Shoob Academy we've yet to see this entire game is Piff. incredible scenes from them over on layer, extended play as much as they did. But here in a match point scenario, the Bandit really needs to come alive. Well placed C4, which will not hit unfortunately. Domi left still with the majority of HP, but Piff needs to come away right here, right now. But in the meantime, a sub-minute situation. Blink and you miss it. Turtle Tactics, only 30 seconds left on the clock. Now the Bandit batteries off the wall. Nyx beginning that main breach open. The pressure's on. Fire all around. It is Soapy just playing by those yellow pipes. Smoke's flying out. Flashes flying out. Surely a safe plant for the captain of Nyx, and all these defenders running about trying to find him face to face with Zonky. However, an instant trade, a post-plant scenario for the Turtle Tactics.
I mean, the diffuser's down. Adept wanted to give a high five to the Jackal, taking care of him with the SMG-12, but just to no factor of avail as he just gets completely refried quite instantly. The verticality is established. They're outside. All they gotta do, park their butts outside, watch the diffuser, and call it a day here, as this time is oh so pressured. They have so much to do here. Turtle Tactics, really beautiful execute. I can't even say anything. Not a single thing was done wrong by them. They took their sweet ass time and it worked out perfectly. Absolutely beautiful as they managed to push this on to overtime. And Shoobs Academy is now starting to fall short. 2 straight plants on that chassis have led them to this point here. And if they can continue to push this, we are going to see Shoobs going home early.
I mean, it might be a time for the Shoobs to call a timeout of their own. I mean, just look at all this chaos in the middle of the bomb site, and just Piff walking straight into Piano, the main place they're going to be, as it has vert directly above the case, and you just walk in on-ADS. I mean, Shoobs Academy just really have thrown all caution to the wind, and Turtle Tactics taking full advantage of it. A timeout for them should have come way sooner, in my opinion, but better late than never. This map, still not out of their reach. However, the situation has just been reset. Pressure is on them. Momentum in the favor of the Turtle Tactics.
They've now pushed it to overtime. There's the round of applause. Very well deserved here for Turtle Tactics. But Shoobs Academy, there is something called being too late to calling a timeout. I feel like after you've had your top frag or smack a shield for 40 seconds straight, I feel like that was the time to call a timeout. But I mean, that's just me though. I'm just a caster. What do I know? They'll go on upstairs, and they had a great time holding it the last time around. They just need to deny yellow and make sure they don't advance through ad. They've done it twice before, and they can do it a third time. But it's all about their commitment. Right now, we're seeing them fall short for the last 2 rounds, but that doesn't define what was happening completely before those rounds. Shoobs Academy, they have what is needed. They're on their own map, but they need the players that aren't doing well to step up. Piff is 1 in 8. That needs to change, or else we are going to be seeing a very one-sided overtime.
Hopefully we get to see some more content from this game, honestly, because it's just been very exciting all throughout. But now Shoobs Academy, an overtime scenario here, once again returning to the top floor. And now the Demo's finally busted out. We got to see the absolute damage and pressure that caused over on layer. How will Shoobs Academy navigate this new threat?
Gridlock now. We are going to see Nyx back on his clutch factor operator. We know what he does on Gridlock. We've seen him previously on it 3 times, and he's gotten an ace every single time. Right now, the case is loose. Maybe, you know, somebody could go over and pick it up, but they need to dissect admin. It looks like they're not going to be doing that diverse play where they have 2 people attack from yellow side and they switch on over and they rotate depending on how the other players adapt. But as of now, Amos going in from below here might be able to find a couple of cheeky kills, but he has to be mindful of that hatch as long as his attackers haven't claimed all of admin. You need to be careful, because if that hatch swiftly gets opened up, you are going to die. There is no sugarcoating it, especially when you have that pistol out and you are not going to be expecting it when you're trying to look for an easy wallbang. Niff first on the chopping block, and he is running away and seeks refuge next to Lecky's mute jammer, completely disregarding and making this death mark useless. 2 more left, and 2 more jammers are around the area, making it even easier to continue to deny it. And now, manager's office, cafeteria, and admin has now been controlled by Turtle Tactics.
very speedy for the side of the Turtles. Now, lots of accurate red pings as well. A lot of these Shoob Academy members gives Nyx and Co. plenty of time to formulate a plan on how they want to take this. More bees soon to come out from the side of Spider. There's a threat in this form of Soapy. By that long death / bending area. More track stingers flying out. They know Adept is close by, but Piff finally waking up almost for a triple. Traded out by Dami. That does open up a potential gap by long death. Shoob Academy needs to worry about. But Nyx somehow lucky. Oh. 2 lucky kills there. Soapy and Scary fall in the craziest way possible. And the old man once again opens up the round beautifully. Fight contested over by Londes. Lecky needs to find a way to recover somehow. Adept doesn't even hold a candle to Nyx. And maybe 4 on the cards for him as only Lecky dancing around bullet after bullet. Utility flying out of all sides. And Nyx, it's his world and we just live in it. The Turtle Tactics land themselves over on match point.
What? I told you, he locks in on Gridlock. Are we serious? Shoob's Academy. No. You know what? No. I'm only going to talk about Turtle Tactics. What a round coming in here from Nyx. His clutch factor actually needs to be studied. Piff finally waking up here, denying full access from Spyro here. But Nyx waltzes into sight, walks back out of sight, and kills the 2 most essential operators. The one sitting close in sight and the one sitting on the vending machine. You cannot swing into a pre-firing Gridlock. He is a maniac on that gun, and you just play directly into his hands. You fed him directly 1 by 1 by 1. Every other player on Turtle Tactics kind of just spectated. It's not something we can continue to see. This is a grand final. You're on your own map, and you are falling short now. You are on your 3rd consecutive round loss. If you don't lock in right here, right now, there is no criticizing, there's no analyzing, you're done. Entry to the finale, goodbye. Your prize pool, good night. There's nothing there for you. And you need to walk away, you need to watch this VOD back and watch all of the crucial mistakes you made on your own map.
If I were Shoob Academy and I lose this, I would use the $100 I get for 2nd place to buy the cheapest wine possible and then drown myself in it. Because they have just completely let this game go. But they're still in it. However, they have to deal with Nyx tricking this wall, and we've been able to see how the Seeker wall has stumped Shoob Academy at many points during this game. And time after time, just seem to collapse around it. However, this time around, they managed to take space quite quickly into V-Sub. They do force a member of the Turtle Tactics to fall off quite early. In exchange of the secret wall, they take a lot of space up on top. However, aggression from Trev does put Scary in a bit of an awkward situation, especially as there's still somebody lurking by those secret steps. There's this kind of a 3-way crossfire, and now that forces Shoob Academy to drone out, and that gives a perfect opportunity for everybody from Turtle Tactics to make it back into the bomb site safely, Sino.
Honestly, worded perfectly. You've set the stage now and the expectations here. Can Shoob's Academy adapt? They've had a harder time on attack, I would say. And right now, these goo mines seem to be like the man or the round of the match here, as they are just dealing so much damage. Look at how much HP is taken off of Scary and soon to be Adept as well. As we've seen all of the defenders now start to seek refuge into the site, the first gunfight will be between Nyx and the Striker. Adept really trying to get aggressive here, but now we'll sub it out as the easy kill here from the Blitz. How do you not hear the man punching the barricade? He's come knocking on the door, and you've had no response. What a pinch here. It doesn't matter, your Blitz has gone down. What a beautiful display of teamwork. Tommy getting traded out quite easily with a refrag, and that leaves it all evened out here. Right under a minute left. The bridges are getting open, the drones are raining in, and it is a perfect situation here for Shoob's Academy to be able to adapt. Turtle Tactics, 1C4. 2 canisters. They have the ability to deny, but it's all about killing the people that are trying to funnel in, or the one who tries to get very aggressive. There's the one attacker out of the 3 who tries to find the gap. Find him, you have claimed the title for yourself.
29 seconds. Every moment that bleeds off this block hurts Shoobs ever more. Utility flying out from both sides. Two smokes, two sides of the warfare here. But Soapy will be taking the upper hand, but equalized instantly by Spider. A foothold into the kitchen. How good is it going to be? Soapy worried on the plant. Now Spider in a 1v1 scenario. Soapy in the meantime able to dedicate himself to the plant. Spider switching to the sidearm. The spray not good enough. C4 stuck. And that gives Soapy the opportunity to escape. At the very least, Adept able to confirm Spider's position before he dies. 30 seconds left in this tango. Can Shoob Academy extend?
Oh,
it's
no.
not gonna happen. Turtle Tactics with the comeback, Sino. They came back from disaster and they closed the series out in 2.
Bomb defusing attempt failed. Defenders win.
I'm done. I am done. No. You know what? Oh, wow. Turtle Tactics have my respect forever. I will forever be glazing them from this moment on. Shoobs Academy was terrorizing teams on the other side of the bracket. They woke up today to realize that they are not the best team here. They are falling short on their own map. Despite it was closer this time around, but it's a good game. How well deserved was that for Turtle Tactics? They brought it up from the ashes. Consulate, theirs. Layer, theirs. They are not here to stop at any point anytime soon. And I'm actually just gonna have to take off my glasses at this point. That was the best overtime I have seen come from a team. Just wow. Way to bring it back. Everybody turned up to the occasion. They decided to lock in here. And that's exactly what you expect from your teammates. You have your easy fraggers. You have your 3 and 9 starting to lock in. And what a way to just clean up the gameplay.
The new kids on the block, like you mentioned, terrorizing their side on the bracket. But legacy, experience, that's what carried Turtle Tactics through some of these tough situations. They come out with a deserved crown for them. Honestly, quite incredible, especially from Nyx. Multiple points, multiple game-changing clutches from the old captain.
You know what? I've been left speechless so many times this game, or this series in general, but I feel like it was my pleasure to be able to say that I was one of the casters alongside with you, because it was an absolute pleasure. Both teams tried to show up here, and eventually Turtle Tactics is the team to lock in here. Right now, though, you just have to put a round of applause together for Turtle Tactics. They win the prize pool. They are now invited to the finale. In just, wow, we need to see how they will perform in the finale, because if they can continue to bring this level of, I don't know, prosperity to the finale, we are going to be seeing a quite interesting second tournament. But kind of want to take a look at the stats of the day. Consulate was a little bit of an interesting game. It showed us so many different things. I mean, you saw the entry, you saw Nyx. He was 3 and 9. You also saw the shield operators being starved out of all of their utility into the last couple of seconds, and they were really having to pay the price. The teamwork wasn't there, and that is why I think the stats later on will show us the importance of these players. They've brought it back, they've reeled it back in, and they've played as a team.
Absolutely. I mean, just incredible scenes, an incredible comeback from the Turtle Tactics. Lots of impact from every member, really. Everybody showing up exactly when they needed. Nyx, Spider leading the charge at different points in the game. We get to see on the other side of the cards, I mean, Scary, Piff, they were, I mean, well, and not really Piff. He was kind of having a pretty slow start, but he came awake when it mattered most. But unfortunately, the game had already slipped out of their hands. There was timeouts that needed to be called way sooner. There was just over-aggression on multiple points, a complete lack of teamwork at multiple points over on the defense, and Turtle Tactics just able to open up multiple gaps. Yeah, this game was rightfully theirs. This series, this championship, is rightfully theirs.
What a clutch, honestly. And if we were to see this going into a BO5, if we saw it at a best out of 5 series, I still think we would have seen a 3-0 split, honestly. No contest about it. because they lost their own map pick. It's just absolutely dreadful. And wow, there's just so many things to say, but not enough time to say it. It was completely in the favor of Turtle Tactics that second map, and they completely choked it. You had the ability to push it to border, and you just didn't. Take that $100 and go out to the bar and drink yourselves until you do that VOD review, because it is going to be a pain to watch. If you don't have any thoughts, Botanic, you?
I mean, given a lot of these guys over on Shoobake had new kids on the block, young gunners. If you can't drink, you know, root beer's right there. Maybe even cheaper than a regular case of Corona. But with that said, I mean, that's been Rite of Passage. I've been Botanic. This has been Sino. Thank you everybody for participating. Thank you for everybody on the staff side, for the admins, for the broadcasters. Truly an incredible effort. We'll see y'all in the finale.
Except battery.
Of course, screw battery.